So, if you are coming on today, I would love to hear from you. Just so we're going to touch on a topic that can be a little intimidating sometimes, and I feel like there are also misconceptions about it. I had a huge misconception about this topic before I actually started showing up more in my business and really owned the fact that as a service-based business owner, entrepreneur. I am the personal brand. I am a brand with influence in my business. And when I say influence, I am not talking about an influencer, although we are influencers. So if you are an expert, if you have any additional knowledge that others may not have and that's valuable and that you teach others on and you help people with and you solve problems, you actually are an influencer. But I feel like nowadays people consider influencers what they see maybe on Instagram, right? Where you're posing with a new outfit and um, you hope that people buy that outfit and then you get commission from whatever company you're representing. That's not the type of influencer I'm talking about. I'm talking about you being an actual influencer as the owner of your business, as the leader of your business, and as an expert. So that's what we're talking about today. If you are new to my page or to my profile, because this is actually streaming in lots of different places, so welcome. And my name is Gina Tassinelli. I am the owner and founder and creator of Hype Media, which is a social media marketing agency where we work with brands to help them show up unapologetically with our influential method. And together with that, I work also one on one with women entrepreneurs to help you show up unapologetically on social media so that you can really create a magnetic influence and attract your ideal clients. And so I do that through done with you services as a coach, as a consultant, and inside of my brand influence program as well. So, welcome. And again, if you're new, I'd love to know and let me know how we met. So, this topic is something that is I'm super passionate about personally because I used to hide, as many of us business owners do, especially if you started your business offline like I did 14 plus years ago. I just stated myself. I started my business offline, although I was helping businesses just getting started to show up online on social media back then. But I was a very private person. I didn't really understand the value, honestly, as an expert to to have to show up as the leader in my business. I didn't understand the value for me, at least personally, because the clients that I worked with were not personal brands clients. They weren't coaches and consultants at that time. They were more like brick and mortars, product based, things like that, where there was really no face to that business. And so I wasn't used to it. And so I was very intimidated. And when I work with women now and other experts and small business owners, we all go through the same thing. So I want to share with you some ways to keep it real on media so that you can show up authentically and have that authentic social media presence that really is something that you cannot delegate to an assistant if you have one, a social media manager if you have one. It's something that has to come from you. And when I did that, I honestly was able to, it was just, it was revolutionary for my business. It was a game changer. And, if we have to put this in numbers, I most likely more than 10x'd our revenue. So that's why this is such an important topic to touch on. And so I'd love to know from you if you're watching this live or even if you're watching this on the replay, let me know. Do you feel like you're showing up enough inside of your business on social media? And that includes not just physically your appearance, but writing sharing stories, experiences, rather than just promoting your services. So that's all a part of actually showing up, being vulnerable, talking about topics that maybe might be a little edgy and might seem uncomfortable, but they also show your values, they show your beliefs, they show your characters. That's also showing up. And really, that's going to be the best way that you can truly connect with people on social media and stand out from the crowd. So, let's talk about some of these ways you can do that um, very easily so it doesn't feel fake. And honestly, it's going to be so much easier to show up on social media and make your marketing efforts really worth it. Okay, so here are a few things to keep in mind as we're going through this. Number one is you want to be honest. You don't want to be fake. You know, I will tell you that the more public the profile is, probably the least or the less vulnerable you're going to feel like being. But that is the value of having a community, a group, a place that's more intimate where you have more connection with people. And there are some ways also to really show up with that vulnerability, and not the entire world doesn't have to see it, but the right people can see it. And there's some ways to do that right here inside of the platform with custom lists. Okay. And that's something, the technicalities of that, but that is something that we do for clients and we show them how, and that I train in my program because it makes such a difference. And you can really make your efforts on social media a lot more intentional. So be honest. That's number one, because when you're being real, and even if maybe you don't have a filter, that's totally okay. You're going to attract the right people to you, and that's really going to establish authenticity. With that said, don't be fake. So this is something, myself as an image consultant as well, because I do help my clients with image consulting and their style. Um, Sometimes we think of personal style and fashion and how we incorporate that into our brand and into our business as something that's fake, but it's actually not. It's you just really owning all of you, including your personal style, and showing up to the world with ways that resemble you. So whether that's doing it with your brand images, with you yourself in images, with selfies, things like that, it doesn't mean that you're fake. You're just being you. Now, what you don't want to do is pretend like you have this extravagant lifestyle when you really don't. So there was a story that came out a few years back, and I don't remember exactly the influencer, but what was interesting about the story is she had hundreds of thousands of followers, which I will tell you most likely were fake followers. But in addition to that, every time she posted her anything about her life, images, and she was in these images, um, and in her home, she was actually at a store. She was at IKEA taking all of these shots. Okay, so that is being fake. That's just not being real. Okay. Number three is you really want to stop and think before you post anything. So think about, what is the purpose of this post? Does it represent me truly? Does it represent my brand? Is it an accurate representation of my character, my beliefs, my values? And what is the intent of what you're putting out there? Okay. And also the objective. Number four is stop worrying about likes. So if you go and check me out on Instagram, you will notice that I have a small following, especially on stylishly branding. There's a few reasons for it. I don't hang out as much over there, so I don't engage as much, and therefore the algorithm is not going to pick me up as much. There's not going to be as much of a connection. But the other thing is, I'm not worried about those numbers. Those are vanity numbers. And so, you know, a number is not actually going to call you or to sign up for something or to pay you. It's actually a human being. So rather than getting likes, instead think more about connecting with people. And that's truly being more authentic. And you can do it in a way that brings high value to people And you'll notice that because you will start to get more engagement. People will reach out to you in DMs, in personal messages. They will want to connect with you. They will want to learn more about what it is that you have to offer. And it just feels a lot better, feels good, right? It's not that icky feeling of worrying, oh my gosh, I don't have enough followers or there aren't enough people liking this or liking that. It's about engagement and creating relationships and connections. Number 5 is use your voice. Don't pretend to be somebody else. So, I will tell you, I now do have somebody that supports me, Mackenzie, who is amazing. She's my right hand gal inside of my business, and she helps me with copywriting, some of the copywriting for my own brands. And I will edit some of the things that she puts out there because I don't speak that way. So I make it my own. And so you can also find support to help you with your own social media, or use other people's content as inspiration, but make it your own voice. You don't want to pretend to be somebody else, because there's nothing worse than, not living in your own skin and trying to pretend to be somebody else. So be as authentic as you can, with your brand voice and your brand message, and you will get those responses that you are looking for because they will be more aligned with you. I think I'm on number 6, right? Is and which I just touched on, is don't copy the competition. When you can stand out as yourself and truly make that copy your own. You can definitely use other people's content for inspiration, but you don't want to copy exactly what they say, right? You want to make it your own. And when you can do that, you're actually going to stand out more because your unique self is going to be what people will pay attention to. All right. So, any questions on this? I hope that this was helpful for you all. So, I will see you guys next week, same place, same time, Thursday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, have a fabulous rest of your week. Bye, guys.